Theaters may have gone dark, but you can bring the bright lights of Broadway into your living room with a new online class provided by the Manitoba Conservatory of Music and Arts. Let's Sing Broadway Online is taught by Shauna Martin, a recently returned Winnipegger who was in the Boston area teaching and performing. Hello, Shauna.
Hello.
Well,
Nice
what
to
a
see
pleasure
you
it is!
all.
What a pleasure it is to connect with you. I'd like to begin just by starting off. If you could tell us about your musical journey as a performer and a teacher.
So I started as a pianist quite young, as people often do, and then when I was in high school, I started to sing more, and I also played the oboe. So when I graduated, I actually went to Brandon University, started as a pianist, and went to oboe, and then moved out to the West Coast. Started to do way more singing, got really heavily interested in it there, and then ended up going to University of British Columbia and taking my Master of Music there with Nancy Hermiston at the School of Music. And then met my husband online, as people do these days, and ended up moving down to the States and living and working in the Boston area.
Wow. And then what brought you back to Winnipeg?
Well, it was kind of timely, but my parents are both senior citizens, super seniors, I guess they call them. My dad's over 80,
Wow.
and we didn't have any other family here in the area. My brother also, strangely enough, ended up living down in Massachusetts as well. Just a complete coincidence that we ended up
Yeah.
being half an hour away from each other. So my husband and I decided it was time to come up here, keep an eye on my parents, and it turned out to be a very timely, as it turned out.
Yes, indeed. And now you're at the Manitoba Conservatory of Music and Arts.
I am. I am.
Since the end of March, operations have been suspended at the MCMA. However, these online classes have continued. Virtual meetings, student-teacher interactions have kept up. Tell us about this latest course, Let's Sing Broadway Online. What have you prepared for students?
So what it's going to be is kind of a walk through some of the golden era and more contemporary stuff of the whole Broadway picture. We do a little bit from Oklahoma or that kind of era. People mostly
Hmm.
think of that carousel, and then we're going to do some contemporary things, probably maybe something from Mamma Mia or from Carole King's life story, The Tapestry. It's called Beautiful is the name of the musical,
Yes,
or
of
maybe something
course.
from Kinky Boots too, which is
Oh,
Cyndi
fantastic.
Lauper wrote the music for that, and it's a super fun sing. So
I mean,
just a good time.
that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, show tunes have the power to, bring all sorts of emotion, but they're first and foremost, they are just so much fun.
Hmm.
I'm curious, is there a certain skill level required for this course, like past performance experience, or just open to anyone?
Nope, not at all. You can be a fresh bare beginner. And the nice thing about Zoom is doing it on Zoom is that you're able to record it. So if we want to record it, I can send the recording out to the students or even just the audio of it if they want to practice with themselves, if everybody's cool with that. I mean, there's a lot of good things about doing stuff online. You can capture the moment and then go back and revisit it and work on it yourself if you're feeling a little bit nervous about it.
Well, I did want to ask you about that because, I mean, obviously this course wasn't designed to be taught online, but we're adapting as we all are in this
Mhm.
time. Have you found any, you mentioned some of the positive aspects of teaching online through virtual conferencing. Have you had any struggles, like the dreaded video lag?
So yeah, that probably is the biggest issue that I
Yeah.
have. There's lots of ways of getting around it. I do teach students that are really, really far away, and the farther away you get some super crazy lag. The video's not the problem, it's the audio. Because when you go to play the piano and have somebody sing with you at the same time, there's a lot of, that
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing. And then also, I'm sure you have had this happen too, where it's like it kind of bunches up. The sound sort of bunches up and then it gets slow and then it kind of bursts forward. But that's why we do the recording. And I haven't found it to be really all that hard to get over. It's just everybody has to understand, the limits of the platform.
Yeah.
It's great actually. I love Zoom. It's been really good, and I've sure learned a lot about using it. I'll tell you that in the last month and a
You
half.
and I both. I never opened the program until about 6 weeks ago, and
Hmm.
here we are now using it as a regular form of communication and making it work. I mean, that's the big thing. And if people haven't sung with a recording before, I mean, I remember going to lessons and a pianist laying your track down, and then you could
Hmm.
go home and use it if you didn't have the chops at the keyboard. And it is a very useful way of practicing and bettering yourself as a singer, no matter what level you're at, right?
For sure, even at the highest levels, you would probably record your lesson so that you go back and listen to yourself, listen to your teacher, give you specific instructions just to reinforce it. Nobody has a perfect memory, and when you have a lesson once a week, you always need some way to kind of remind yourself what it was that you were working on. You'd be surprised how fast those little details can escape your mind, but if you have something to look at again, it's super helpful.
Yeah, very beneficial. The last thing I want to ask you is, I mean, we're all finding comfort in different ways in this time. A lot of us finding comfort through music, whether that's making music or listening to it, or maybe a bit of both. Thinking about your course, Let's Sing Broadway Online, is there one piece of music that you're turning to in this time? One piece of music that feels like a sort of hug or something that you like to hear?
Actually, I really love the song, Carole King's song, You've Got a Friend
Hmm.
from Beautiful. It's such a great message, and it's such a nice personal message for us all right now. And, there's always somebody out there to talk to if you can find them. And online is a great place to find friends right now, find a like-minded community, that's for sure.
Let's Sing Broadway Online, a virtual class taught by Shauna Martin, running Sunday afternoons from 3 to 4 p.m. A fun, upbeat way to strengthen your singing technique, practice breathing, posture, rhythm, and even have the opportunity to learn a song or two from musical theater repertoire. You can find more information up at mcma.ca or classic107.com.